I love the porn king. He's the best in the world and he has a big dick.
Elon Musk. Everyone loves this dude. The white, affluent soccer moms, the technocratic libertarians. Everyone loves this dude. Except one group of people. Those absolutely dirty, gross, socialist fucking scum. I mean, the guy is currently trying to work to find a way to completely supply the entire transportative needs of the United States electrically. He wants to create an entire roofing system that works as solar panels. He seems to be pretty concerned about the environment and where our species will end up in the future. So what could this dude really do all that wrong?
Could you try to break this glass, please? Yeah. Sure? Yeah. Oh my fucking god.
I actually think this is a better question than what most people give credit to. Every liberal loves this dude. Every libertarian-leaning conservative also loves this dude. And yet you still find him in smaller circles being absolutely loathed. And it really does beg the question as to why. What the fuck is going on? You know, you'll look up online, is Elon Musk good? Is Elon Musk bad? You'll find good things about him. You can't find anything bad except from stockholders being slightly worried about his weird behavior online, his meme posting, his shit posting, and maybe smoking weed on the Joe Rogan podcast. So the internet doesn't really seem to hold a whole lot of fucking nuance for this dude. And the only reason I'm actually talking about this is because a friend just recently asked me what I thought about this dude, and it really occurred to me that's a really good question. You know, the dude clearly is doing undeniably good things, yet at the same time, there's a whole group of people who do not like this guy at all. So let's talk about it, and what better and appropriate way to talk about Elon Musk than showing some nice Shadow of War gameplay. And so sorry if you don't like that, that's not your kind of thing, but it's my party. I can cry if I want to. So in order to make this video and make something that's sort of worth listening to, I think we have to establish what ethical perspective we will be looking at this from. I think for the sake of time and the lack of information that you can fit into a consumable video, I think the best perspective to look at it from is a classic utilitarian perspective. And the main reason I think that is because most people, whether they realize it or not, have already subscribed to a form of utilitarianism in order to sort out and gauge ethical dilemmas and ethical questions. So I'm sorry if this perspective deeply offends certain people. I get there's many problems with utilitarianism. I'm pretty fucking dumb, but I'm not quite that dumb, so I know that it has issues.
We would actually need the same battery production. We would basically need to absorb the entire world's lithium-ion production. That's why we are building the Gigafactory. These are the recent pictures of the Gigafactory. This is a vital element. To give you a sense of scale, the Gigafactory will actually have a lot.
So why do people actually hate this guy? And again, to reiterate, why this is the focus is because most people actually do not hate him. Despite what some people might say, he really seems to be one of the most well-liked entrepreneurs on the planet. And with this, he seems to have an altruistic focus to his work, not just foaming at the mouth, trying to rake in as much profit as humanly possible. So this is going to start us on November 10th of 2019, during the 2019 Bolivian political crisis. In other words, in more accurate terms, the Bolivian military coup. Evo Morales, the ousted president of Bolivia, had a very strong position of anti-privatization of the lithium mines in Bolivia. What followed this was quite sinister and surprising, yet not terribly surprising at the same time. Tesla's stock prices soared right after the coup. This shows the sheer international influence that private capital has on international politics, and with this, the direct effect of the Bolivian people. What is for certain is that stockholders, and stockholders specifically interested in Tesla, had a great interest in what was going on in Bolivia. To add some more context to this, for anyone who doesn't know, Bolivia is an incredibly lithium-rich country who sits on a mass reserve of lithium. With this, and knowing the global need for lithium in the growing years with electronics, Evo Morales clearly knew that there would be a vested interest in the lithium in Bolivia. And further, he did not want to open Bolivia up to privatization and investment from foreign entities, as the history of foreign investment in South American countries is not good. A critical eye into the history of South American politics and international relations shows us that some of the most brutal working conditions ever were in South American countries who were open to private investment and international corporations coming in and wreaking havoc on South American countries, and namely their people. Seriously, the mass exploitation of South American people throughout history cannot be overstated in this video. There's a direct reason why privatization has been completely vilified by many South American governments, and there's a direct reason why so many socialist countries in South America have been completely toppled by the United States and European allies. Evo Morales directly knew what would happen if he opened up the lithium mines to privatization. We have seen years and years and years of practical slavery in South American countries on the whims of international corporations. It was clear that sacrificing the people of Bolivia for international profits was not something that Evo Morales wanted to do. And what was further clear is international corporations knew that Evo Morales did not want this, and there was a vested interest in the United States in the Bolivian coup. As there is a race for companies to acquire as much lithium as humanly possible, the last thing Tesla is concerned about is the well-being of the Bolivian people, and quite frankly, people all around the world that have to work in lithium mines. Something that, despite political affiliation, something that most people would agree on is the sheer moral atrocity that is private equity completely influencing politics at large. Okay, maybe not all people, but absolutely anybody who is halfway politically honest. The result of private equity interfering in politics is almost always never good. And despite some deep American affinity with corporatism, I do really think most people, if you sat them down and talked about the ethics, most people would agree that private equity interfering in political affairs is definitely something that is not very favorable. So if the interest in the exploitation of working lithium miners throughout the world is not bad enough, nor is the interference in international politics bad enough, how about something more domestic? How about something closer to home? Because it's one thing if it's happening to brown people halfway across the globe, but it's another thing if it's happening to the people in the United States and people in your community or communities near you. That was a joke. That was sarcasm.
Top donors for a Republican PAC named Protect the House. Filings show that the Tesla and SpaceX CEO donated $33,900 to the PAC, which is dedicated to keeping Republicans in control of Congress.
This is where we get into the wonderful world of lobbying and political contributions, of which Elon Musk has spent nearly his entire fucking career lobbying the government and paying for political campaigns. And most of the information available today isn't necessarily from the companies of SpaceX, Tesla, etc., but it comes from Elon Musk himself donating to individual candidates with a cap of around $1,000, $2,500. This dude has charged political contributions all the way from 2003 to 2019. This dude has been doing this forever. And now I know there will be people who will defend him with this. You know, a lot of people are like, well, you know, Ian, corporations and individuals, they donate to all kinds of political candidates and political parties throughout the United States. What's wrong with Elon Musk doing the exact same thing anyone else does? And you know, that's true. That is true. Everyone else does it, but it's soft corruption and it's absolutely fucking bullshit. This should not be accepted whatsoever, whether you're an oil baron, a fossil fuel executive, or you're a dude probably likely trying to change the world for the better with green energy. It does not matter whatsoever. If you're lobbying the government, you're interfering in political affairs, and that directly affects the people around the globe and domestically. For all these scathing critiques I have for Elon Musk, I wish it would end there. But it does not, and this could be said to be arguably worse, despite its wide-scale prevalence in modern America. And that's his record on anti-labor and anti-union efforts. Like Amazon, like large-scale retailers, Elon Musk has also held a pretty horrible record on unionization and collective organizing. So bad that the dude ended up breaking laws. In the United States, mind you, a judge ruled that he violated laws under 3 major events. The first was when Tesla security guards interfered with employees who were passing out pro-union flyers. The second was whenever an employee shared their personal information and job position to a pro-union Facebook group. And then, hilariously enough, the third incident was a tweet Musk posted implying that a unionized workforce would lose its stock options. Despite labor laws, there was hardly any punishment for this either. The only thing Tesla had to do was pay back lost wages and rehire the employees that were fired. Oh, and Tesla can't prohibit pro-union attire.
Marijuana inside of tobacco.
Oh, okay. So it's like pot tobacco posh.
You never had that?
Yeah, I think I tried one once.
Come on, man. You want some of that? You probably can't because of stockholders, right?
Despite the rise and fall of unions in the United States, despite the rising neoconservative, neoliberal ideologies that have gained a foothold immensely in American politics within the past 30 years, America has a huge union base, and even further, union favorability has grown immensely, so immense that it's at its highest point in the past 50 years, despite union membership being at a nearly record low. Post-recession America is a far different America. We're finding ourselves at a historical point that was similar in the 1920s. No doubt, labor unions will be playing a larger role in the near future. Denying people's right to organize during a time of record high wealth inequality is not a good look. It's a damn easy way to get yourself hated by your own employees and people who stand in solidarity with workers. Because that's the thing with Elon Musk. There's a direct material and a direct ethical reason why some people hate him. You can listen to the media's qualms about him. You can listen to their critiques of his behavior. His very weird and his very normal sense of humor. You'll probably end up growing to like him. You'll probably end up thinking, hey, he's one of us. He's like me. But he's not like you. And he can't be like you. It's impossible. For Tesla to succeed on the basis of keeping stockholders happy, to keeping a gradual uptick in profit each quarter, he cannot look at you, the worker, as other than just a means to an end. Does he think you're scum? No, probably not. But you're not much more than that to him. Let's say hypothetically he didn't even want to think of you like that. He probably doesn't. But in order for him to succeed within the narrow parameters set from a capitalist system, he cannot look at you more than that. Let this be a lesson in worshipping billionaires. Let this be a lesson in worshipping people who see a direct benefit of keeping you poor. Because despite how altruistic their motives might be, there's little they won't do to keep you from positive social stratification. And this applies to far more billionaires than just Elon Musk. If anything, it is probably true Elon Musk is nowhere near as bad as some, but that does not excuse him. And lastly, I'll add credence to the point that most people who seem to hate Elon Musk don't actually hate Elon Musk. And this, quite frankly, describes my position. I don't hate Elon Musk. I don't hate him at all. But what I do hate is the very system that rewards punishing workers, that rewards keeping people poor, and that sells us a lie that capital must be at the forefront of technology and innovation that must save the world.